Hey guys, welcome back. I'm so excited. Thank you guys for all of the support and all my new subscribers and all my views. I'm really getting excited about this. I promise that look at my hair. I promise that not all my videos are going to be me talking in my car on my lunch break. Hopefully this weekend we'll be doing a vlog with my family. We might go to the state fair, so we'll see. We haven't vlogged out in public before, so I don't know how that's gonna be, or if Cameron's gonna be like, no, we're not doing that. So we'll see. I'm actually gonna talk about Camille's birth today. I wanted to go ahead and do that. So we filmed our couples Q&A video, and it was kind of a disaster. So we're going to actually refilm that. I don't know when yet, but we are going to keep all the questions that everybody asked us and answer those. So yeah. So okay, we're going to get started on Camille's birth vlog, video, whatever. So actually I was due with her on December 27th, 2018. I did not want to have a Christmas baby. I didn't want her born on Christmas Eve, and I didn't want her born on Christmas. I didn't want her to have to share that day, I guess. Not that there's anything wrong with that. If people's birthdays are on that day, I don't know. I really didn't want her to, and I was always complaining, you can ask anyone I know. Nope, I'm not having her on that day. And they're all like, well, if you keep saying that, you're going to. I'm like, nope, I'm not. I'll keep her in there. I actually went into labor on Christmas Day, but I didn't know. We spend the night with my mom on Christmas Eve. It's just like a tradition. Me, my sister, I have two younger brothers, John and Edwin. So they live with my mom, of course. So they're there. My sister and her boyfriend, and then Cameron and the girls. We all stayed. Well, Addie stayed. Camille wasn't born yet. So Christmas Eve we stayed at my mom's. I was hurting during the nighttime, but I didn't think anything of it. I was just getting little cramps here and there, and they weren't anything close together, so I was like, oh, it's fine. I'm just I'm getting close, my body's getting ready or whatever. So then when we woke up, open presents and everything, I was timing them, but they weren't close enough together. They were getting a little more painful. They weren't really painful, they were just annoying. Can you just go away now, Later that day, after we had Christmas with my mom and open presents, later that day we went to Cameron's great aunt's house, opened presents with them on his mom's side. We did that. We actually went and saw his uncle in a different town that was close by, because we don't see him all the time, so we went to go see them. And then we got home, and I'm really hurting by this time, and I'm timing them, and I'm okay, maybe. So we did have a plan for Addison to stay with Mimsy and Granddad is who she calls them. It's Cameron's other mom, stepmom, and his dad. So she was gonna stay with them because Mimsy doesn't work. So she was going to stay with her while we were in the hospital and everything, and bring her to daycare if she wanted to come, just so she would stay in a routine of things. But she didn't have to stay all day if she didn't want to, or if her Mimsy didn't want to bring her. So we got home, and I was like, okay, I'm going to text them and say hey, can we bring her over? We might need to go in. So they literally kept getting closer and closer. Cameron hates going to the hospital. Obviously he's going to do it with me, he's going to stay with me, but he literally hates it. He doesn't like hospitals, and staying in the hospital, it's so uncomfortable. There's a bed for him, there's beds or whatever, pull-out couches and some, but he's not a fan. So he's always just are you sure it's time? Are you sure? I'm like, yes, I think so. So we took her, and they were close together, and they were hurting. But then we got home, and I was packing my bags because I'd only packed so much of my bag. Okay, this is it, we're going, we're going, this is happening right now. So it kept getting more painful. I was crying when the contractions were there, but then when they stopped, I was fine. I would stop. So I think I scared Cameron, because he was getting scared, and he was like, oh my goodness, are you okay? Like, when they would come and, like, I'm just, like, packing my bags and everything and doing all this stuff and having all these contractions, and we started heading to the hospital. And oh my goodness, I literally, it's like one of those videos where the moms have their babies in the car. I was like, you need to get there right now. You know, I wasn't screaming at him because I could tell that he was like, he was nervous. You could tell he was nervous. He just kept like looking at me like, are you okay? Are you okay? I was like, I'm fine. Just go. I was like, don't drive too fast, but you know, we need to get there safely, but this really hurts. And I'm like, oh my God, you know, like, and I was crying in the car, I'm pretty sure. So at the hospital that we went to, you can park your car outside of the labor and delivery and leave it there until somebody can come out and move the car for you. Well, we got in there and I was like, you know, they're taking their sweet time. I got in there, they're like, change into your gown. And I was like, I have to pee right now. I was like, I need to go to the bathroom. And I was still having contractions in there. And, you know, like, I'm moaning and groaning, or not yelling, but it was hurting for real. I yelled, I was like, they need to get in here right now. Like, I was like, well, I had an attitude, but I didn't like say like super loud because I was hurting at the same time. And they heard me because the door was still open. She's like, I'm so sorry. I was like, I need to go to the bathroom. So I probably didn't yell at her, but I was mad and annoyed. So I went to the bathroom. You know, they come in, asking me questions. They gotta put your IV in, and they checked me, put my IV in and everything. And they're all like, oh yeah, you're about a 6. And I was like, a 6? Because when I had Addison, I was at a 6 before I got an epidural. But anyway, she's like, okay, I'm going to call the, what do you call it? Oh, anesthesiologist to come down here or whatever. Keep that in mind. She tells me that before I move. So I'm still like in the emergency part. So they blew my vein in my left hand, so they had to go to the right. And Cameron was getting annoyed because it was hurting me. I was having contractions at the same time. And my water breaks. Like, as I'm like, or I guess when she had, you know, checked me, she kind of broke my water a little bit. And then like a little bit had came out, and as they're wheeling me to like where I'm about to have, what is it, labor and delivery, I guess, my water breaks. And I was like, okay, it just all came out. I was like, it's breaking right now. So get me in there. I'm in so much pain. My nurse is so sweet, and she's like taking such good care of me, you know, and like talking me through everything. The anesthesiologist comes in. I hope that's what it's called. But she comes in and she's like, you know, have you done this before? Like, yeah, I have another kid and whatever. She was so rude to my nurse. I felt so bad for her. She was like, yeah, I called you early because before they got in here because she's in a lot of pain. She's like, why would you do that? And she's like, because she needed it. And she was literally so rude. So then she was already on Cameron's bad side for being rude to this nurse who was so sweet to me. And then, okay, yes, I've done it before, but that was like a whole year ago, you know? And when you're in, I wasn't in that much pain when I did it the first time. So I'm in so much pain. She's sitting here, and you're not supposed to move during epidural, you know, we know that. You're not supposed to move where it can paralyze you. So she does it, and I flinched, and I was having a contraction. She never told me, like, hey, don't move, I'm about to do it. Never warned me. The entire time, she did not say anything. She was like, hey, you can't move. I'm like, I know that, but you didn't tell me you were doing it. Cameron was livid. He was, like, death staring her so bad. Oh my goodness, I was scared for that anesthesiologist. Like, oh goodness. He had said something because she had asked us something. I can't even remember what it was. I'll have to ask him. And he was so rude. He was like, you know, whatever he said back, he was rude. He was like, I don't give a crap anymore. You're not about to be like this. So like, I think she realized that she had made him so mad, and she was like a little bit nicer. So then she's like, okay, be super still. I'm about to do it, whatever, after that. And I was like, yeah. So she ended up doing it. Like, I don't know what she did, but it left a huge bruise on my back, like this big. And that's not supposed to happen. They're not supposed to be that big unless, I guess, something goes wrong or they didn't necessarily do it right, or maybe the first time when she did it, it did that. I don't know. And the whole time I'm asking them after, because it starts kicking in, and I can feel my right side. I can't feel my left. It's a weird feeling. It's like a numbing. You can feel, but you can't. Well, when I had it with Addison, I couldn't feel anything. It was like numb. I was scared. I thought I was gonna like die because I was like, is this supposed to feel like this? And they were like, yes. Well, it was weird. So my right side didn't get it. She was like, well, sometimes it goes more to one side than the other side. And I was like, okay. And I kept asking her so many times. We had called my mom, and I was like, call my mom. Like, I'd already told my mom, then I told my sister. My sister's like, well, are you sure? And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, well, you can wait or whatever. And my mom's like getting there, whatever. And there you're allowed, the hospital I had Camille at, you can have as many people in the room as you want. Just, you got to know that they're there, like give permission or whatever. So I was like, oh yeah, it's fine. So my dad was in there too. And there's like a curtain to like, not a waiting room, but like another room that they could stand in, kind of, like a little space. So there was enough room for everybody. She was about to go, my nurse was about to go out of the, no, she checked me again and said I was like the same. And then my mom comes in and asks what it was. She was like, oh, she's about an 8. And I was like, what? I'm at an 8. And that was before they gave me my epidural. So I got to a whole 8 before I got my epidural. A whole 8. I was like, oh my goodness, 2 more centimeters until I would have been at a 10. I was like, I feel like maybe I could have done it, but maybe not. But anyways, so she was about to leave the room, and I was like, actually, can you check one more time, because I think she might be coming. And she was like, oh yeah, never mind, I'm not going nowhere. And I don't know, I don't remember if I like pushed right after that or what. And she's like getting everybody ready. My OB comes in. Oh my goodness, I was so glad to see her. I literally love my OBs. I love both of them. There was actually 2, and the one that I saw mainly, it wasn't her, but it was the other one. But I adore them. Oh my goodness, they are such great ladies. But yes, and then actually, you know, I pushed her out or whatever. I could still kind of feel it like on my right side, but it didn't necessarily like hurt. It didn't really hurt, I would say. I could just feel like the pressure. She actually came out and she wasn't crying. And I got a little scared because I don't know what the term for it is, what it's like, what you call it, but her cord was actually wrapped around her neck 2 times. So that was crazy. My mom, I remember looking at my mom. My mom's like, you know, it's okay. And my mom said that like Cameron looked at her like, you know, like, you know, kind of like concerned or whatever. And she was like, it's okay, she's fine. And actually, right after they had put her on my chest, my sister walked in. I was so sad for her. So she didn't necessarily like see her being born, which she did for Addison. Yeah, I was sad, but it was okay. She saw her like right when they were putting her on my chest. And her boyfriend stayed outside. She was like, oh, just wait a second to come inside. But yeah, that was kind of her story. It was very fast, very, very fast. I think I was crying. I'm sure I cried. I'm a baby. I cry for everything. And now that I'm a mom, it's like 10 times worse. But that's kind of her story. I'm gonna do Addison's, hopefully in maybe next week or something like that. I don't know what my next video is gonna be. Hopefully a vlog, but I might do a breastfeeding video. So if anybody has any questions you have about breastfeeding, number 1 is like, does it hurt? So I'm gonna answer that question in my breastfeeding video. So I totally forgot. I'm filming this after my video. Actually, I totally forgot. She ended up being born on December 26th at 12:11. Yes, so I barely made it by 11 minutes. I was like, you made it to where it wasn't Christmas. I was like, oh my goodness, thank you so much to Camille, you know. But yeah, my beautiful baby girl weighed 5 pounds, 13 ounces, 2 more ounces than Addison. Addison weighed 5'11", and my OB had talked about how small Addison was, and maybe because I was so sick and stuff the entire time, you know. She had commented and she was like, oh, I think you're just gonna have small babies. First story on Camille. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Can't wait to see you guys next time.